Hey, good morning, everybody. I think that's the first one born. Don't matter. They're all in here. She doesn't have one yet, but I don't know how. And of course, these girls are all holding on to theirs too. Is what it is. Ron and I did not spread the straw in here last night. Number two came down here last night at like, I don't know, 9 o'clock. She says, I'm going to get that bale spread. Okay. She actually got way more covered than I figured. Hopefully it holds up for a little bit. Usually it's at least a couple bales for what she did, but hey, if it works for a little bit. Oh yeah, heifers haven't done nothing either, even though that one in the middle of the screen looks like she's 50 feet wide. Of course, last night the damn coyotes started yipping. Not sure where all they were. Number two comes in, says they're too close. I said, okay. Too dark to shoot at anything because you ain't gonna see them anyway. I don't have a night vision scope. If I did, I'd be staring at somebody's freaking yard light trying to find a coyote between me and it. So I just grabbed the shotgun, figured we'd haze them off. Yeah. We made our way around back by the feed barn, looked out that way, and couldn't see anything. Didn't hear them. We looked everywhere we could. Keep in mind, I got one hell of a good bright spot or flashlight. They were out here in front, and the neighbors. Right where, yes, if I did have a rifle, yes, there were houses lined up exactly behind every one of them. Don't know how many there were for sure. There were at least 4 together. I don't like seeing any of them together. 1 or 2 is one thing. Once you hit 3, they think they're invincible. And if you think, oh, coyotes aren't a worry, you ever seen what the backside of a cow looks like when they get to it when one of those is coming out? The neighbors had it. 2 in 1 week quite a few years ago. The only thing left of the calf was the 2 hind legs that were still in the cow. Cow was still alive. But basically, yeah, if they could walk on their front feet and not use their hinds, they'd have it made because she didn't have anything back there. And I've also had them, 7 of them at once around me when I was much younger. Think, nah, coyotes aren't a problem. Yeah, bullshit. I figured I wasn't really worried in here because small enough area. I mean, the cows will trample the calves to kill the coyotes in here. That's the sad thing. But, they'd also get the calves in the corner and the cows would protect them. And even though these idiots over here ain't the brightest things in the world, they're still a barrier. Keep the coyotes from getting that much closer. And I know Minnie Moo down there, coyote got in that pen with her, either the coyote would be dead or the barn would be gone because she would destroy it trying to get to it. We have a few cows like that. And as I found out last summer, we have a bull like that too. He decided that when the coyotes were 600-800 feet from the closest cow, that was too close. So anyway, if you notice, I'm a little jiggly more with the camera because I hurt this morning. Most of it's from lack of sleep. And it's a little brighter out than normal when I start. It's also frosty. It's like, what the heck? It's 42 degrees at 11 o'clock last night. And I hate it when you look out in a field like that. You think, that looks like a coyote. Well, yeah. Hell of a time seeing them out there. Except last night, there was no missing the eyeballs. Anyway, that's way too much story time for right now. I gotta feed I'm like an hour and a half late feeding. Shot from up here. Number 2 decided maybe we ought to go see if we find any coyotes out here. I doubt we will. But a few videos, well, a week or so ago, there was sounded like a coyote calling. It would have been coming from probably right over there in those trees. So we're gonna see if somebody's been climbing over the fence. And Mom said there's I think she said it was a cedar top laying down here in the way where she takes her bike back up here. So at least see what's going on back here and see what the wind's done. Like a tree laying there, and another one. Kind of see through the blackberries. These need to go through, knock the half dead ones out. So, yeah, you know, really should have showed you all that junk over there that come up in the high water between here and the horses, closer to the horses. Quite a bit over there. There's a little bit over here. Anyway, oh hey, and here's something I love. Groundsel. Noxious weed, which they still try and tell me it will not compete in a well-established pasture. Sorry, didn't make you stare at the ground. And it'll go into seed in the middle of winter. It does it all year long. I've seen that in grass as thick as what's right there, waist high. It's in grass like that, it'd be pretty tall because it's going up for the sun. Spray it, spray it, spray it. If you don't get it sprayed before it gets a bud started, you're too late. It's still going to go to seed, and the seeds all grow. But say the experts tell me it can't compete. The experts tell me when you spray it out, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, bullshit. It's kind of like tansy, except tansy's a lot easier to get rid of and not near as prolific. And the reason we have the stuff is it came in when they planted all their junk at the neighbors. When they started the first government program where they fenced off the creek. And, you know, when we're not allowed in there to do anything and they're supposed to take care of it, and it was literally solid. So, anyway, that's probably more than enough for the moment. Another spot for you. If any of you remember, oh God, it's probably been a month ago. About middle of the screen, there was a beaver dam up there. It's gone. It's piled up against the bank there and laid up on top over there. This is the lovely thing about when they did the government program and you can't get in to clean anything up around the creek. And I think I mentioned before, all their BS with their government program, they had to have a wire across the creek right here. They insisted on it. Well, it's still in there. In fact, the bad thing is, they did a drop chain on it. If you can see it right there, that was how they thought they'd keep the cows from walking through. Well, I hate to tell you folks, 20-foot deep hole to what's normally 6 inches of water coming over, cows wouldn't go through there anyway. But it looks like that's still hooked up to this post up here. It's going to pull the post down. I guess I kind of need to do something about that. Because I don't need them taking the post out, take the rest of the fence out. Look what got found. That would be steering valve. That would be the tube for it. I was thinking that the spline on the shaft looked close. Now, if you're quick and you can count, I think there's 14 splines on this one. And they'll fit. This nice little short piece I have here. Look at that. Nice cutting job, huh? Put it in lathe, put a mark where I wanted it, took the cut off to it because I don't have a paring tool. Let's see. It would have been right there. That's how long it was. It actually stuck out like that. Well, there ain't room for that crap. Short section of tube here and the spline that came out of the steering tube. Say hi, Red. Got the shaft off, turned it down so this would slide over. This is slugged into about here, so I'm slugged in that way. Welded her up. Had a brain fart. When I turned it down, it ended up tapered a little bit, but that's okay because it just makes it a better press fit, right? I'm good with that. I forgot to put this plastic bearing back on. And I'm not sure if this is proper way or not, but I don't think it'll go in between with the bearing. That's where that was. So that's back where it is again. I'm thinking it's a stop, so it can't go up. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway. So I had to grind my weld down just enough to get the frickin' thing back over it. So now, stick this in, get it lined up all the way in. Sticks out just a touch too far. So I gotta make a spacer. But look at that drops in there. Find me a piece of 4x3 flat and make one. Be close enough. And these holes I knew weren't quite on, but I figured they were close. These two are actually right on for mounting the valve. These two are off. They need to come in a little. So I can accommodate that with the spacer. I'll make it, bolt it onto these two, and then either take the die grinder or just a drill bit, wobble that out. Make it work that way. But no, number one came out today. Actually, she brought one of the kids she works with out. They helped number two do some work in the barn. And the last heifer calf, yeah, her lungs didn't sound good. And she finally did have a temperature, so she got slammed with some antibiotics. But our hydraulic stuff used to be in that corner upstairs. In the process of cleaning up and doing stuff in the last couple of years, number one, cleaning stuff up, all the hydraulic stuff is right behind the case sign. Well, most of it's there. That's a hydraulic valve. I didn't look in the truck section upstairs. Our upstairs originally didn't have the walls, so that angle iron right there angles back to the top of the pole. That's the support since we have no posts underneath it. It was behind that, and there's my little welder's backed up to it, and I think there's a front panel off a tractor right there. It was behind all that stuff. Why? I don't know. But at any rate, shaft is remade. Just got to do a bushing or a spacer piece. I was kind of hoping to use that one. It's only 1/8 inch. It isn't enough, and the holes are wrong anyway. So if I make one that's proper and 1/4 inch, it's a matter of just putting it right together. So that's been my day mostly, other than what you've already seen. Got rid of a few things that were in the shop that didn't need to be in the shop while going through stuff. Still need to do something with this horrendous mess. There's a bunch of that that's going to go bye-bye. And I interrupted, my phone rang. So I'm calling it a day. And this is another thing that's got to go somewhere. That's all the electronics that came off of the old Wolverine buggy. Actually, it's not all of it. There's 2 or 3 bucketfuls of valves and stuff outside, down below the shop. That's where they're supposed to be anyway. I think it's a micro track that's upstairs. I don't remember. But we've got a complete set, everything except for the GPS antenna is the only thing that's missing. So I plan on using it because it hasn't sat, this stuff sat outside for like 12 years. Actually longer than that. The buggy was parked for 12 years before we bought it. I know the other stuff was taken off when it was working. That's what we're going to use. And with that, I'm going to say, hey, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And hopefully have this thing together and figure out, hopefully I still have everything I need for fittings off of that. And get the steering column put together tomorrow, I hope. We'll see. I never know what the hell's going to happen anyway.